right.
Ronnie and Donnie Galyon have never been apart, not even for a second.
They're one body, but very much two human beings.
Locked together face to face, even the simplest tasks are a challenge.
They didn't expect them to make it through the night, let alone for 57 years. They've confounded everybody with that.
Ooh, was I mean back then.
Ronnie and Donnie are the world's oldest conjoined twins.
Don't cut my face. I got you.
For almost 6 decades, every day of their lives has been full of cooperation and compromise.
I use my right hand. Donnie uses his left hand.
Left hand.
Their story is one of brotherly love, not just between Ronnie and Donnie, but also with their younger brother, Jim.
Jim, I'm more like a lover, not a fighter.
They're sometimes their own worst enemies, but most of the time they're their own best friends.
Love, 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 love.
All right, dude. Be good, be good.
Now, with Ronnie and Donnie's health declining, Jim wants to help his brothers fulfill a lifelong ambition. Avid sports fans, the twins' dream is to go and see their American football team play.
Rah, rah, rah. Ses boom, ba. Ouch.
But achieving this goal won't be easy, when even getting out of the car is a real challenge and the game is happening 800 miles away.
Each year is a milestone. Who knows how far they'll go?
This is Ronnie and Donnie's life, two people who must live as one. In the Midwestern state of Ohio is the city of Dayton. Hidden away in one of its quietest suburbs, in an ordinary 2-bedroomed house, live the most remarkable brothers. Ronnie and Donnie Galyon are the only male conjoined twins in the world, and at 57, they are also proud holders of another world record.
I'm Ronnie.
I'm Donnie, and the oldest living Siamese Twins in America.
And also the world.
Ronnie is very, very, very happy-go-lucky, versus Donnie is just as serious and hardcore as it gets. They're total opposites. They're one person and one body, but they're total opposites on that.
Opposite in personality, the brothers have identical hobbies. They collect toy cars
Dallas Cowboys!
and are American football fans.
Get along, little doggy.
Whilst they both love watching TV, they don't like the same shows.
Usually the biggest arguments are over the TV, even though they have two now.
If he turns his up, I'll turn mine up.
When it comes to eating, that's Ronnie's favorite pastime. Donnie is a conservative. Ronnie will eat till he just can't take it anymore. He'll just engorge himself.
And make himself sick.
And make himself sick. Yes, very much so.
But no matter how hard they try to exist as individuals, Ronnie and Donnie share a unique body.
Their terminology that we'd use to describe Ronnie and Donnie would be omphaloischiopagus. In other words, they're kind of joined from their base of their sternum, involving their bellies, and then down into their pelvis, which is one big ring. There is a band of tissue about 2 to 3 inches wide that goes across their midline that they can both feel. So, do you feel this?
No.
There?
Yes.
How about you?
No. Right there.
So about this band of tissue is where you feel.
Yes.
Internally, they each have their own vital organs, but their anatomy is joined in the urinary and lower digestive tracts.
Where their large intestine comes down into their rectum, it joins together into a single rectum. And then their bladder, they have kind of 2 separate bladders right next to each other, then come out into a single opening as it exits.
There's only one male organ.
One rectum.
He has his own stomach, his own heart. My brother's heart's on this side. My heart's in the middle. And I have my own stomach too.
Joined at the abdomen, the brothers live their lives face to face. Everything they do is a well-rehearsed and specially choreographed routine that begins when they get up in the morning.
Easy. Get that far. Let me just in it. Pressure, son.
It's important for Ronnie and Donnie that they are treated as individuals, so they each have their own personal belongings. Although everything may look the same, the twins know exactly which item belongs to them.
Which was that thing? Quick glasses.
Although Ronnie and Donnie have separate brain functions, they are able to operate as one.
They'll just look at one another. It's not like it's telepathy, but they'll just go like that. They just think so much in harmony because they're two separate minds, but at times it's fascinating.
With 4 arms and 4 legs to coordinate, they have a unique method of working together to do everyday tasks, like having their morning shave.
Ronnie will get Donnie and Donnie will get Ronnie. So between the two of them, I mean, they don't really need a mirror. They pretty much take care of that between themselves.
Like, I'll shave him, and he'll do me. Don't cut my face. I got you. That's what you call, come on, a good bond with your twin brother.
Ronnie and Donnie's mobility has declined in recent years, and they rarely venture out. But their youngest brother Jim and his wife Mary encourage the twins to make that special effort to go for breakfast at their favorite diner every month.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Fine.
Good.
When we get them out of the house, this is where Donnie and Ronnie loves to come because everybody here that works here knows them. The ladies that own the place know them. They treat them like family, which is cool. Treat them like gold.
My customers inquire how they're doing. You know, it's nothing crazy here. Treat them like 2 human beings, which is what they are.
The twins feel at home at the diner, but their ambition is to travel further afield. They are avid American football fans, but they have never been to a game. While Ronnie and Donnie are still able to travel, their brother Jim is determined to make their dream come true by taking them to see their favorite team play.
Well, I was dreaming about going to see an NFL game.
I didn't think it was going to come true.
Because I'm happy as a lark. Yes, I'm smiling.
In a week from now, the twins will be leaving the safety of their home in Dayton to travel 800 miles to see the Dallas Cowboys.
This has been a lifelong dream of theirs. But to get to go down to Dallas and see them in their own stadium, that means the world to them. They're stoked, really excited.
They are really stoked.
But achieving this goal won't be easy, because just going out for breakfast has taken a real toll on the twins. Exhausted and in pain, they need to go home. Dallas is a 2-hour plane journey away. Ronnie and Donnie's fading health and mobility could make their planned trip an impossible dream. Aged 57, Ronnie and Donnie Galyon are the world's oldest conjoined twins. They live on their own, but are heavily reliant on their younger brother, Jim.
Except him being our blood brother, he's also our best buddy.
And best friend.
Jim has been a saint for Ronnie and Donnie. In fact, they would not be able to exist in their current situation without Jim. They would have had to have been institutionalized. He's their lifeline, and he provides, their shopping. He's psychological support, all their clothing. And they are so entwined with Jim.
Jim checks up on them every day, even though he has a full-time job. When he's at work, his wife Mary helps out. Before they married 5 years ago, Jim introduced Mary to Ronnie and Donnie to get their approval.
The first time I met them, I thought they were amazing because they were sitting down on the floor and he'd taken me in and introduced me. And he told them I was from Tennessee, and of course that...
We got Tennessee roots, and that did it right then.
That did it. And
Ronnie was like, "You got 2 more sisters?"
Seeing the bond between Jim, Ronnie and Donnie made Mary realize the 3 brothers were inseparable. And by marrying Jim, she'd also be taking on the twins.
I thought Jim was amazing. I mean, you can tell there's a very strong bond there. They're very loving. They can be very demanding sometimes. And he has so much respect. I mean, he's a wonderful... He's very family-oriented, and I wanted that. And to watch you with Donnie, Ronnie, you were awesome.
Now, for Ronnie and Donnie, Mary is more than just Jim's wife.
You see, what people like to say sister-in-law, me and Donnie, that's too fuddy-duddy. So we like saying sister instead. And I tell you, since our brother and her has been hitched, every day we see him, he's sparking like a brand new puppy.
They're really not like his brothers. They're more like we've got
More kids. That
More
we're taking
kids that
care
we're
of for
taking care
life.
of.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
just that. No telling
Yeah.
how long they'll be around, but as long as I can keep them free and independent, that's where I'm headed.
You had it last time.
Ronnie and Donnie may live independently, but as conjoined twins, they have never spent even a second alone.
The closeness that Ronnie and Donnie share is not always a positive. When you think if you took somebody, even the person you care about the most, and you were chained to them 24 hours a day, never being able to get away, their whole life is a compromise.
Shut up, Spock. Ronald.
What happens when they row, Jim?
When
Black
they get
eyes.
into it,
Black eyes.
the last time they got into it about 4 or 5 months ago, Ronnie had a shiner.
And I would go over there and they'd be black and blue eyes. I actually had to sew one of them up because the other one punched him and, cut him above the eye.
I don't know, stupid. Don't do that. Excuse me. Idiots.
Easy to quit. They get into it, they get mad at one another like any other brother might get mad at the other one at some time or another. They can't go in the other room and cool off.
That was Bill Allen. Shut up, Donnie.
It gets so intense and angry. Usually takes literally 4 or 5 days for a dispute to simmer.
Who is the one that makes up first? Is there one of you that is more stubborn than the
You're gonna
other?
say it to me. Go ahead. Why can't we say it together? Okay. Mostly I will.
I go with that. Ronnie's happy-go-lucky, no cares in the world.
Good-natured.
What time do we eat? 24/7. And Donnie is very articulate, very hard-headed, very stubborn.
Jim, I'm more like a lover, not a fighter. Because I look at it this way, why get into not like you say in England, why get into a fight when you can have God in your heart? Love, 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 love.
When it finally runs its course, they'll start crying because it's over. And then it'll come down, they'll just start bawling their little hearts out. And he'll reach across and kiss him on the forehead. And he'll reach across and kiss him back on the forehead. And they've made up. And it is done. When it's done, it's done.
Okay, this is good. And that does hurt.
Every aspect of Ronnie and Donnie's life is a struggle. But they have never known anything else, as from the moment they were born, they've had to fight to survive.
The incidence of conjoined twins, it's about 1 in 50,000 to 1 in 100,000 births. And of those, about 40 to 60% are stillborn, so they don't even survive up to delivery.
Safeguarding the health of a baby during those first, most perilous days of his life.
On October the 28th, 1951, their mum Eileen went into labor. Neither her husband Wesley, nor the doctors were expecting twins to be born. Never mind twins that would make medical history.
They were natural birth. Donnie, the little one, he was head first. He came to where they were joined. The doctor couldn't get him any farther, and he thought that the cord was wrapped around him. But finally, he saw he had Siamese twins. Just fortunately, we had a good doctor.
All of a sudden, here comes a head with some feet, and then the rest of the body and another head.
I was born head first, he was born feet first.
I'll have to show you by my hands. My brother's
Thank
born...
heavens, brother.
Shut up, please.
Do I give you help for that one?
My brother was born... Okay, shush, no. My brother's born head first. And I was born feet first. When we was born, we weighed 11 pounds,
11.5
ounces.
It struck my mom really hard that she had Siamese twins. It was, yeah, these are my babies, but there's something wrong with them. It was, she didn't really know how to take it, quite frankly.
For the medical team, the birth of conjoined twins was something they had never witnessed before, and they didn't give parents Eileen and Wesley much hope for the future.
They didn't expect them to make it through the night, let alone for the 57 years. They've confounded everybody with that.
Even though the twins were thriving, doctors decided that they should remain in the hospital under observation. Today, Ronnie and Donnie look back on their extended stay with fondness.
And that's the nurses feeding us in the hospital. They spoiled us because we came to the hospital. We didn't know how to feed ourselves or go to the bathroom, so they spoiled us a lot. Wasn't that cute, Donnie? That's some other type of nurse. This is St. Louis Hospital.
Normal diapers?
They were special made by our grandmother.
Donnie and Ronnie stayed in the hospital for 29 months, undergoing tests and observation to determine if it was feasible to even have them separated. And if they would separate them, would they survive?
Did you want to be separated?
No. I'll say it, okay? Go. Why can't we say it again? You say it first and I'll say it last. We was born this way by God. Our belief was this. Let God separate us. And let the good Lord separate us. God made us. Let God separate us. Not even surgical knives.
Their lower intestine is just one. There's one penis, one rectum. That's it. Therefore, if they separate them, Donnie has control of that. Ronnie would have had to have been reconstructed. And you're talking back in the 50s. That probably wouldn't have been too likely that they both would have survived. Thus, that decision was made. If they both can't make it, then we're not going to proceed with that.
That's what was name. Mm-hmm. Our dad built this chair for us himself. Wow, this is fun. Oh, here's a good pictures and show the first one first, brother. Okay. That is darn choking me.
Ooh, was I mean back then? You can tell he's scared. Because he can scream, he's screaming her, "Mommy, tell him to cut it out. Help."
For the twins, a trip down memory lane can take a lot of effort.
Real careful. Go around to the back side like you're supposed to.
Although their childhood home is only 4 doors away from where they live now, they are no longer able to walk the 200 yards to see it.
Real careful.
Today, Brother Jim and his wife Mary have come over to help them make the short journey to visit the house where they grew up.
Can we show them how you do willies?
No.
This is where the twins lived as children, with their 7 siblings and their parents, Eileen and Wesley, who have now both died.
Now the house here is where 9 guys lived up. The front end bedroom there was all 5 boys. Our brother's bedroom was that way.
In the middle.
In the middle. Because he was the oldest.
Right.
The basement was the girls. And then 5 boys left in that bedroom. Donnie, me, Jim, Kenny, and Joe.
Yep.
And like saying the good old days when our father and mother played cards, us kids,
Yep.
like go see a movie. We wasn't bashful.
Some good memories there, huh?
Yep.
We played pool down there, some ping pong.
Ping pong.
Yep. Cheating at pool, we should tell them about that, how you used to cheat at pool when I turned my back. Remember that?
No comment.
Huh? No comment.
Although the family tried to lead a normal life, the uniqueness of the brothers made them a local attraction.
You'd have people parked out front all the time, waiting to get a glimpse of them. It wasn't normal having Siamese twins. Then it wasn't a normal life because you've got unwanted or unsolicited onlookers, for lack of a better word, curiosity seekers, people, and understandably, that's something they're not going to see all the time, 2 people connected together. That's confounding.
From the day they were born, the family were approached with offers for Ronnie and Donnie to appear at fairs all across America. It was an extremely difficult decision for Dad Wesley to make, but with 9 children to support, he took the twins on the road as a sideshow attraction.
They had an old trailer that my dad had put 3 large picture windows in it, and he made the living room into a showroom. Donnie and Ronnie could sit there, watch TV, and people would come in, and then they could view Donnie and Ronnie sitting there. It was like they're walking into your living room, paying a fee to walk into your living room.
But not everyone was happy that the brothers featured in a sideshow.
Some people were like, well, that's offensive having them make a living in that. That's just not right. Well, what are they supposed to do? It's not like they can go out and drive a truck for a living.
Although Ronnie and Donnie attracted attention wherever they went,
As in Mexico, with the beautiful senoritas. Hooray.
it was difficult for them to form personal relationships.
They would both love to have been able to date and to be individually married and to father children, but having just one set of male organs, who would be the father? You know, there's 2 brothers there. I mean, it gets a little quirky, does it not?
The baseball one.
And their male function is normal. You know, that has been an issue. And that actually has been something that, when they were younger, you know, had to be kind of addressed, because they had the normal male urges, the normal hormones, trying to channel those so that they didn't, you know, become aggressive or frustrated. It was an issue.
They've never really had a male-female relationship. Never, ever. But they long for that. They wish that they had.
The twins loved their life on the road. They were celebrities, enjoying fame and fortune.
We enjoyed traveling because, I'll put it this way, when we traveled the carnivals, we support our family.
Dad had made a living through Donnie and Ronnie and supported 9 kids on that. We're proud of them for it. I'm proud of them for it.
In our heyday, it was like celebrities. They were handsome, good-looking lads.
In 1991, Ronnie and Donnie retired, aged just 39. They had worked for more than 3 decades.
Do you wish that you still did that?
No.
We're glad we're retired
now.
because I have scoliosis and I have arthritis.
Since they were little, the twins dreamt about living in their own home, where they could draw the curtains to escape the prying eyes of strangers. With the money they'd made from the sideshows, they bought a 2-bedroomed house. But after 30 years on the road, where everything was done for them, would they be able to survive on their own? In 1991, Ronnie and Donnie Galyon, the world's only male conjoined twins, moved into their own home in a suburb of Dayton, Ohio. They had just retired, having spent over 3 decades traveling America, appearing as a sideshow attraction. They wanted to live independently, but there was a problem.
They didn't know how to take care of themselves because they'd always been looked after. And it's not their fault. It's not that they just, if they wanted something to eat, it was always brought into them. They didn't know how to shop. They didn't know how to cook. They didn't know how to clean house. They didn't know any of that. And this was all very, very new and scary to them.
It took Jim a year to teach the twins the skills they needed to live alone. But even after the subsequent 17 years of practice, simple tasks like making breakfast are still a huge challenge.
It's cute because Ronnie calls Donnie the little wife, jokingly. This is the little wife because Donnie does all the housework. Ronnie can be quite lazy, and when it comes to getting work done around the house, Donnie's the one that would get up and do the dishes.
A combination of putting on weight and old age means that the twins can only stand for short periods. So they need to sit on the kitchen floor to prepare their bread for breakfast.
When I check on them, normally I'll come in and say, laundry's piling up in here, who's not getting to it? And Donnie will go, don't look at me, done did mine. And Ronnie will just kind of stare off into oblivion like,
Is that done?
Yeah. Good for
Easy.
As the twins are joined at the abdomen, they've developed a unique way of collaborating. And every task has taken years of fine-tuning and practice. Even buttering bread involves 2 people working as one.
So whenever you're doing something, Ronnie, do you use one hand and Donnie uses the other hand?
I use my right hand. Donnie uses his left hand.
left hand.
Whilst Ronnie and Donnie have created ingenious ways of living independently, they have never been taught to read or write.
Congress got flushed down the toilet. They didn't get their way. They bail out the Dow Jones.
It's by sight recognition. It's not by reading.
A newspaper, they watch the news on TV, and then they
Yep.
read their newspaper. And they can't read the newspaper, but by looking at the picture, they can tell what's going on in the newspaper.
This story's about this right here. It's fascinating.
Because we don't know how to read and write. Because they fought back then in the 50s, we were a distraction.
They would very much love to have known what it would be like to go to school with other kids. They started them in school here in Dayton, and basically they were pushed off into a corner and told, you know, you're a distraction to the rest of the class. They didn't know how to deal with that back then.
That's yours? No, that's not yours. Oh, shoot, man. What? Guess we have again, man. No, not Jerry Judy.
It does seem, from a developmental standpoint, that they are somewhat maybe stuck at the age of 9, 10, 11. I mean, they love their Hot Wheel cars and their Matchbox, you know, and that's kind of where they've been for years and years and years.
One minute you know you're talking to a man, or you feel like you're talking to a man, and the next minute you feel like you're talking to a child.
Jim looks after Ronnie and Donnie's money. He pays all their bills and gives them a monthly allowance. Otherwise, they could get into financial difficulties.
I get matches. What's the head of that thing?
If I gave them all their spending money at one time, they would buy the Hot Wheels cars or Matchbox, and I'm not exaggerating. I would be, you spent all your money on a cart of cars? Yep, you know we love them.
Oh, this is nice.
Over the last decade, Ronnie has become dangerously overweight, making walking to the shops to spend their allowance impossible. Jim refuses to buy them snacks as he's worried about their health, so the twins have found a new way to get what they want. They've been secretly getting neighbor, Scotty, to go to the shops for them.
Yeah, I just stop over there just periodically, check on them, see if they're doing all right, how they're feeling. And, you know, they just sometimes twist my arm, get them little snacks every once in a while.
What you're getting from me is, you know, CBS,
Right.
Vismo. Yeah,
The
finally.
tablets,
Yeah, candy.
some hard candy, what? I mean,
Ronnie,
there's all kinds of different mints. There's chewable.
why can't you get peanuts?
It's not just Scotty who keeps an eye on Ronnie and Donnie. It's everyone in the neighborhood.
High five
I
back.
just try to make them feel like they have a safe, secure place to live. I think they feel somewhat trapped in that house because of, you know, they're used to being taken care of and being on the road, traveling all the time. There's me.
Okay, hello there.
Some mints and some nuts.
Okay, thank you.
And
You want to go?
some candy and the tablets.
Although they are 57, the twins can still find living on their own frightening. But being joined together means that Ronnie and Donnie never have to face their fears alone.
From a psychological standpoint, they are very dependent on each other. A lot of times, certain situations, Donnie's extremely anxious. Other times, Ronnie's anxious. But it's kind of interesting because they kind of bolster each other up.
If he gets scared, we'll reach up for one of our flashlights, see things aren't in the room. If he gets scared, I put my hand over his back. I put him right here and pat him to sleep.
Does that make you feel better, Johnny?
Yes.
Can you tell me why?
Well, I get sometimes scared of the dark.
But, inevitably, there will come a day when one of them has to face fear and bereavement on their own. Ronnie and Donnie's death will be as unique as their life.
When you look at the literature on conjoined twins throughout history, and when one dies, it is kind of interesting that it isn't immediate that the other one will die. In other cases, in some of the other conjoined twins, it's up to 17, 18 hours after one had died that the other one would die. So if you can imagine that point in your life that you're joined somebody you've spent your whole life with, basically, and they're dead, and you know what's coming. You know, obviously at that point, if that happened to Ronnie and Donnie, you would have to, I think, sedate the other one just to get them through that time period until nature took its course.
Jim and Mary have braced themselves for this.
Their health isn't, we're seeing it go down every year.
We're seeing a decline.
And we talk about that. We're like, now every birthday is a big celebration because we don't know if that's going to be
Because they made another milestone, exactly.
Jim tries to make every day special for his brothers, as he doesn't know how much time they have left. The twins have always been into playing and watching sport, and Jim often takes them to the batting cages.
You going first?
Yep.
All right, big boy. Good one.
I know.
Whilst they enjoy playing baseball, their first love is American football. But they have never been to see a game. Tomorrow, Jim is taking Ronnie and Donnie to Dallas to see their favorite team, the Dallas Cowboys, play.
There you go, base hit. Well, this opportunity to take them down to Dallas Stadium is going the extra mile. It means the world to them. They're totally stoked with enthusiasm, excitement. And to top it off, that they happen to be playing my team, which is going to beat their team. Even better. Win, lose, or draw, they're going to have a blast.
Thank you, brother.
This is a once-in-a-lifetime thing, this late in life, and it's a good thing. It's going to be great.
Back home, Ronnie and Donnie need to get an early night, so they're ready for their 800-mile trip to Dallas in the morning. But even after 57 years of practice, having to sleep on top of your brother is still uncomfortable. Today, the twins are leaving the safety of their home to take a 2-hour plane journey to Dallas. But the anticipation of seeing his favorite football team meant Ronnie had a sleepless night.
Listen, I'm so excited I can hardly go to sleep last night. I'm on pins and needles. Shut up, laughing boy.
Put it in 4-wheel.
Ronnie and Donnie find it difficult enough to walk from the front door to their car, so it's vital that their motorized wheelchair comes with them.
Got up at 4 o'clock, got a shower, and I'm ready to boogie. The next #1 Super Champions, Dallas Cowboys.
Yeehaw!
God bless America, my home, sweet home. I just got a little patriotic, brother.
As the world's oldest conjoined twins, Ronnie and Donnie's health has declined as they've aged, so everyone's apprehensive about the strain the trip will place them under.
Going on a plane, any distance, that would be a concern because they get so tired and fatigued just walking short distances. They don't handle the temperature as well as you or I would. So those are all considerations when you're trying to arrange them to go one place or another.
Away from their own neighborhood, Ronnie and Donnie are attracting a lot of attention. But Jim is more concerned about whether his brothers will be able to fit in the plane seats, so he has a backup plan just in case.
If all else fails and they cannot get in the seat, we're getting in the van, we're gassing up, and we're driving to Dallas, 14 hours straight. Gotta do what you gotta do. You think it's funny, but I'm dead serious. If they can't get you on that plane, we're driving. Didn't tell you that because I didn't want you to worry, but
I believe it.
either way, you're going to the game.
Listen.
It'll actually be loaded from the side you're sitting on, so.
Hallelujah.
And actually, it'll almost be right underneath you.
Praise the Lord. Oh, there. See you, Hazel.
Don't tip the airplane, all right?
Don't need any help? You good?
Yes, ma'am.
I guess you do this all the time, right?
Yes.
Oh, him.
You mean the purser?
I am.
If Ronnie and Donnie can't safely fit in the 3 seats allocated to them, they will be asked to leave the plane.
We're heading to Dallas. Let's do it.
You made it, guys. How are you guys doing?
Fine.
Doing well?
Even though the airline has given a row of seats to Ronnie and Donnie, because the twins are joined face to face, the journey will still be very uncomfortable. Donnie sits in the middle seat with Ronnie in front of him. Ronnie's back is wedged against the seat in front, but he has no support beneath him.
All right, you guys. All right, there's a couple things we have to review with you. The closest floor exits you saw when you walked in the door. How's the best way I can help you to get to these exits if we need to get out quickly?
Sir, when I fly, I say pray God, we get there.
Thank you. I totally agree with you.
And we'll get there.
Yeah, we will.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It certainly is our pleasure to welcome you aboard American Airlines flight number 1237 with service to Dallas.
On arrival in Dallas, there's a problem. Ronnie and Donnie's wheelchair has been broken in transit. Jim's been taken out onto the tarmac to see if he can help the airline engineers fix it. Without their motorized wheelchair, the twins need to walk from the plane to the gate.
Yeah, they gotta sit down and rest every so often. It's a long walk.
The brothers are struggling to walk the short distance. Even if the engineers fix Ronnie and Donnie's wheelchair, this strenuous effort to reach the airport terminal could leave them too exhausted to attend the game tomorrow. On top of this, the twins are becoming increasingly anxious because they have been separated from their brother in unfamiliar surroundings.
Feels like to me like a strange, town.
I'm not gonna leave you. I'm gonna be right here, okay? We're gonna be right here.
Without their specially designed wheelchair, Ronnie and Donnie will be lucky to leave the airport, never mind get to the game. Ronnie and Donnie Galyon, the world's oldest conjoined twins, have made a mammoth 800-mile journey to Dallas to see their favorite football team play. But their wheelchair was broken in transit. After an anxious wait, they have finally reunited with their brother Jim and their repaired wheelchair.
Thank you. No problem.
The game is back on. It's the morning of the big day, and the brothers have some free time before the Cowboys match. So Jim's taking the twins to the Texas State Fair. Before they retired, Ronnie and Donnie appeared here as a sideshow attraction.
How are you, Jim?
Fine.
I remember seeing you when you were probably 8 years old out here at the fair. And one of you was kind of the boss. Which one?
Him. This is Ronnie Gang talking. We are on monorail going over the state fair. And I am having a ball.
Pretty good sized midway, fellas.
When Jim was growing up, he spent his school holidays touring with Ronnie and Donnie. These American fairgrounds were their playgrounds, and all the rides were free. The fun fair workers became their childhood friends, and many are still here.
You got it, that's right.
Because when you was on the line, you used to play Cowboys and Indians.
Yeah, you're right.
And we used to go to your house or something.
Yeah, that's right.
Here, see the state fair?
Mike Stanford and his family owned the Texas Star Ferris wheel, and he used to work alongside Ronnie and Donnie.
I think I remember most when my son was probably 2 years old. They used to put him between them, like sitting in a saddle and go running and walking.
Yeah, buddy.
And that was, that was quite different.
We was his son's babysitter.
This is Sean, the little boy the twins used to babysit.
You remember sitting up here as a little guy?
I do. I remember after closing time, I'd ride in the saddle here when they'd go for walks at night.
Yep.
They'd get to running and scare me to death.
He did. That's good stuff.
Finally, It's time for the brothers to head to the football stadium. Ronnie and Donnie have dreamt about visiting here since they were little boys.
I'm ecstatic, happy, dynamite, out of sight, and let's get the show on the road.
Today, though, the three brothers' loyalties are going to be divided as Jim's team, the Bengal Tigers, are playing the Twins team, the Dallas Cowboys.
How about this, Cowboys?
The first thing the Twins want to do is buy new t-shirts and caps to wear to the game. Matching, of course.
Double X, that's you, buddy. Here, let me get your tag.
I keep that.
I know you do, Mother. You act like I haven't been diapering you the last 17 years.
Oh, I wanted some more of the poor airplane.
Cool. Donnie, forward. Awesome. Glasses. Logo, hang on. All right. I'm glad we could get you down here for this. I love you.
And that's called affection. I know you called over here for some but that's called brotherly love.
I love you guys.
Ronnie and Donnie have wanted to sit in this stadium for more than 50 years. Now they are here, no one is staring at them. So for once, they feel like regular guys. And to top it all, their team is beating Jim's.
How are you liking the game?
It's going to be a sure win for the Dallas Cowboys. But in the spirit of brotherly love, Ronnie and Donnie have decided not to tease Jim too much. The next day, the brothers arrive back from their 1,600-mile round trip. With Jim's help, they've managed to fulfill their boyhood dream. But now, they're just happy to be home.
So how was the trip?
Fun.
Huh? Is it good to be home?
Yes.
I know I'm beat. What up, dude?
How do you know, honey?
I love you.
There's no place like home. There's no place like home. Ever so humble. There's no place like home.
Keep your day job, dude. Keep your day job.